Welcome to this channel. I'm Kay. So this video, I would love to share with you something that happens to a lot of people that I have observed. Which type of people though, right? Now, these kind of people, they are very prone to fulfilling other people's need when they don't actually know their own needs. They really enjoy fulfilling other people's needs, and that's how they get their sense of satisfaction and also their feeling being valued or having their sense of worth. That's how they feel about their sense of worth the strongest, when they fulfill some other people's needs. Now, here's the thing. It is not that it's bad to fulfill other people's need. No, it's just that we have to be conscious with how much of a degree, the range that we go for when it comes to fulfilling other people's needs. Now, if you don't fulfill other people's needs in a way that is so little, like you really don't fulfill other people's need, that usually is a very telltale sign of embodying certain qualities of narcissism. Because narcissism is the kind of personality disorder, in a way. They do not fulfill other people's, they do not like to fulfill other people's needs. They don't like to listen to other people's needs. They only care about themselves. And when other people don't fulfill their needs, they throw a passive-aggressive tantrum, or they would simply become aggressive. They become annoyed, triggered. Okay, so this is the opposite side of those who really strive to fulfill other people's needs. Okay, now, and for those who try so hard to fulfill other people's needs, usually the type of people that they serve, that they try to fulfill the needs, that would be the narcissistic individuals, usually. If they are unconscious with why they behave in such a way. Because when people strive to fulfill other people's needs, these type of individuals usually would be in the form of people pleasing. And the reason that people pleasing would arise from any individual's psyche is because of the lack of sense of identity, self-image, self-worth, sense of self, sense of identity. They are unclear with themselves. They don't know who they are if they don't have somebody they can serve. That is very dangerous. It's not that don't serve any people in your life. No, I'm not suggesting this. I am suggesting that we have to be conscious with the balance that we serve other people and receiving how other people serve us as well. It has to be more or less in a balanced state, because if not, you either would feel very drained or you feel disconnected. Those who feel super drained would be the ones who try so hard, go extra miles to fulfill other people's needs. And those who feel disconnected with all people around them would be the narcissistic individuals. Okay, so either way, I'm not talking about good or bad. I'm just talking about this is the phenomenon. This is the in a factual-based phenomenon on a kind of like if we see on a spectrum, like the opposite sides of this phenomenon. Those who try so hard to fulfill other people will be the ones that are usually the anxious attachment style, okay? Like they really try really hard to fulfill other people. And when these individuals who are usually embodying certain avoidant attachment style qualities, there are different degrees, okay? Not that everyone has to be like full-fledged kind of this kind of the attachment style, okay? It's just like there usually would be certain degrees in this, like qualities that you would see in individuals. So Why am I mentioning this? Like fulfilling other people's needs? Because for these individuals, those who try so hard to fulfill other people, to please other people around them, it is actually a result of how I already mentioned that, right? How they are so not in tune with their own sense of self, their own sense of identity and self-worth. And why? Why would it become so? Why would an individual become so off tune, off tune, disconnected from oneself, from one's own sense of self, sense of identity? Usually it's because this kind of individual, during their childhood, they have not successfully integrated or say developed into a healthy self-image. And usually the contributing factor is because of lacking the kind of structure in their life. Okay, when it comes to what I mentioned, like lacking the kind of structure in their lives, the lacking the kind of structure can be manifested in so many things. What I actually mentioned here is actually the masculine energy in an individual's life. So these kind of individuals would usually have either this again is a bipolar thing. Is a extremity thing, okay? It's either these kind of individual who tries to please other people, okay, they would have either a very tyrannical father figure in their lives in early childhood, okay, either like a very strong, like a stronghold of feeling, okay, tyrant, like a tyrannical father figure, okay. Now that would also result, that would cause this kind of individual as a kid to not having their own sense of self, not having their self-image developed, because they would try their best to fit into the criteria or expectations of that tyrannical father figure. Okay? But the father figure doesn't actually have to be a father. I meant father figure. It can actually, what I'm suggesting is this masculine energy. It can be a mother. Okay? The mother has a very strong controlling personality. If in a mother, an actual female, okay, this is also a kind of tyrannical father figure. Okay, it's a masculine energy. It can also manifest in a woman. A controlling type of energy is a tyrannical father figure energy. Okay, so now these type of kids, when they live in such a household, since childhood, they don't have a say. They would be denied. Their true needs would be denied over and over again by this kind of distorted father figures. Tyrannical, stronghold, controlling, passive aggressive, or even aggressive, okay? So this is already the first step of destroying an individual's further formation of one's sense of self. This is the first step, the first stage already happened here. Because, and then now you imagine over the years, if this individual keeps receiving such a stronghold, this person doesn't know who they are. They don't know. They don't know because they don't know what their needs are. Because every time that they voice out their needs, it gets denied. Now, these type of individuals, the tyrannical ones, would then usually be the narcissistic individuals, like we're having the qualities. Okay? So they do not care about other people's needs. They just want their own needs being fulfilled. And so these kind of kids who try so hard to please other people, since young, they are already being trained subconsciously, and then of course becoming consciously, that they feel that, okay, so if I fulfill this person, this family member or whatever it is, these tyrannical father figures needs. I'm safe. I have worth. I have values. I'm only worthy. I only have values when I fulfill this person's needs. It's conditional. It's conditional for whatever this controlling figure do, say the father figure do, ask this kid to do, is conditional. It's conditional love. It's conditional love. They are not telling, what it would be is like, if you do this, you're great. But if you don't, you're not. If you do this, I'm proud of you. If you don't do this, I'm not proud of you. You suck. Like, it's like this kind of messages, this kind of signals. If a person continuously receives these kind of signals over time, since childhood, now these kind of people would then grow up to becoming people pleaser, having a very low sense of self, low confidence, and they don't even know what their needs are. Because all the time they have been just trying to fulfill other people's needs, particularly would be this kind of figure in their household, in their life, early childhood. And what would happen usually is that because it has formed such an ingrained perception in this kid that my worth comes from fulfilling other people's needs, what would happen is this individual, as he or she grows up, he would attract in individuals like the father figure. It's a subconscious thing, unconsciously done. Why? Because these individuals in their psyche, they think it's not conscious. It's not conscious. What I'm talking about is all subconscious and unconscious. But the conscious part would be the behavior of people pleasing. Okay? So it's all very hidden patterns. Why it would become people pleasing is because of the unconscious pattern. Subconsciously carrying out and consciously done. That would be people pleasing. Okay? Now, this unconscious pattern is that I said, why would this individual, manifest in so attracting in these kind of narcissistic individuals in their lives when they grow up? It's because they are trained, they're programmed to thinking that that's how they gain self-worth. That's how they gain values in other people's perspectives. Like when they interact with other people. It's only when they fulfill other people's needs, time and time again, only then they are worthy. Their existence is worthy. Now, at the same time, this person does not know what they truly need. Okay, so that's why when they realize why they feel so drained, would then be the moments that they start to realize that I actually don't even know who I am. Like, I don't even know what I want in life. I don't even know what I need, what I truly need, because I have been trying to please other people. What also would happen is that this kind of individual would be, because they're not centered in their self-image, it's very easy for these individuals to have addictive behavior. Yes. Addictive. They would be very attracted to something or a person or something very easily because they are not balanced. What I mean by they're not balanced is that they have to cling onto something to have a sense of identity. That's what they do with people as well. And so that would also be the same when it comes to any kind of addictive things, addictive behavior. The reason is they only find themselves worthy or feeling their existence validated when they receive approval from other people or anything that makes them feel existing. Okay? Why? Because they do not know their true needs. It's a clinging behavior. They need to live off fulfilling other people's things, live off externalizing identities, externalizing the identity of self in other people or objects or activities. Only then they feel safe. It's an ingrained perception in the psyche, okay, since childhood. Now, so when this kind of individual realizes this, it can be quite daunting, because they then would be like, oh my God, I don't know who I am. Because it's like, I only would start to realize that it's actually not what I need. Even when I say I love this dish, I'm just trying to fit in, because I know this person loves this dish, so I would mention this, and so they would find me friendly, and to accept me. You understand what I'm saying? It's all because they want to find a sense of worth from the external, so to validate their own existence. And through this process, their true needs are always neglected and unseen, even by themselves, majorly by themselves. And when they don't know their true needs, other people actually would not know their true needs. It's a mirror. It's a mirror. Whatever a person is internally would then manifest in the external, is their reality. So what would happen is that these kind of individuals, they could be great providers. Now, these usually happen in one of the cases, alpha male. Alpha male. They are great providers for their family, for the companies, whatever it is, but they feel exceptionally hollow. Why? Because they have been providing for everyone in their lives, but not themselves. Not themselves. They think the things that they love or like is just trying to fill the void, actually. The void. That's why it's hollow. They do not know what they truly need. And usually what they truly need, at the very end of the day, is a caring love. It's a caring love. It doesn't have to be a person. It can be a caring relationship, another person that cares about them. But also, very, very importantly, is they have to learn to develop self-love. They have to learn to discover and develop their needs and fulfilling their own needs. Now, it's not that it's too late. Okay, nothing is too late, my friends. It's only because these part of themselves have not been integrated in childhood. So we can all integrate again. It's just that it's kind of like that part of the psyche, or that part of the persona hasn't been developed. So it was underdeveloped. So now that when an individual realizes this, we can then work on developing this part of the psyche, this part of the persona, this personality. Okay, it is very natural. It takes some time, but it is something very systematic, and as in, it is not something like off the ground, or it is purely science. It's purely science. Okay, so it's purely science. It's systems. It's just systems. So that's why I would love to mention it here in this video, because I realize I've observed a lot of individuals trying to fulfill a lot of other people's needs, especially a lot of men. They make a lot of money, but they feel super misunderstood, and yeah, like I've met some, and one of them actually told me about how he felt really exploited in a way, but not that he hates anyone though. It's that he asked me, how can I be more balanced in giving, providing, he asked me. And then I was like, you have to first love yourself. I was like, you have to first understand your own needs, okay? You have to first, I was like, you have been giving a lot. Okay, now is the time for you to learn to receive. You have not been receiving. What could be an example? I was like, it's very simple things in life. Let's start with something very simple, daily things. For example, if somebody asks you, do you need help with maybe like opening a car door, or do you want me to help you to do your laundry or something like this? It's something very simple in daily life. And usually if you happen to be the one that would reject help from other people, because these kind of people would usually take on all the responsibilities on themselves. However, they would feel very burdened and they would feel very drained in a way that it kind of crushed them down over time. So I said, you have to learn to love yourself. Okay? You have to learn to love yourself first. Receive that help. Accept that help with gratitude. Okay? And understand that you can always receive help and even ask for help. All right? Because that is your need. Your need. You have to start with this kind of, reprogramming yourself, developing that part of your psyche. Okay, it's healthy. It's propelling oneself to a more balanced, equal give and take in relation to the external. But first, you gotta integrate it with yourself, right? Because when one integrates this within oneself, you would all kinds of relationships you have with the external would then be in this way, because you have integrated here inside you. Then it would just manifest in the external as this, which is because it forms your reality. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today's video. I am very happy to see you here or again. So thank you for your time, patience, and support. If you like this video, you find this content useful, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.